Hello guys, hope everyone is doing well. First off, happy 2023. I said that in my previous video. But today's video, I want to talk about Autel, more specifically Autel Support and customer service. I know that's been a big thing for a lot of people with the Autel experience, and I want to kind of give you my input on that and an update of where I think they're at as a company. I don't really know completely, but I do talk to them on occasion, meaning the people that run their support side. So I'm just going to give you some input based on my own experiences. Take it with a grain of salt. I know everyone has their own set of experiences, and I do understand the frustration that could be part of that whole thing. But just so you guys are aware, I've flown Autel drones for probably 2 years now. When I was flying DJI, which I started probably 7 years ago, that was my only experience, and I just wanted to try something else. And I do think that regardless what anyone thinks of the support side of things, just as a drone pilot, it's really good to have another drone manufacturer experience under your belt. So to know another app, to know another drone, to see how you have something to kind of compare DJI drones to, it's good in my opinion, and that's why I bought an Evo 2 Pro 6K version 1, which was the drone of choice at the time. I bought the on-the-go bundle, and at the time, I think B&H had it for like $1,200 or $1,300, so it was a really killer deal and a great drone, and that was how I started with Autel, and I loved it. I had something to compare my DJI experience to. I realized that these drones don't necessarily fly as well and as nimble, but I realized that the Autel drones gave me the closest thing to, say, a photographic land camera that I was used to. Say I shot, D800s, D850s, whatever it may be, A7S2s, that kind of thing. So to me, this drone came closest out of any of the drones to, again, a still camera that I'm used to shooting as a pro photographer. And that was exciting to me. Then I realized it was really good at video. I shoot the Evo 2 Pro 6Ks at 6K normal color, and believe it or not, they do a really remarkable job. They do a good job in low light as well. So overall, this drone is pretty rock star. Not the Light Plus per se, even though it's a good drone, but the Autel series Evo 2 Pro 6Ks are a great drone and a great choice. And again, it gives you a comparison and a new app to fly with. Say you use the Autel Explorer app for the Evo 2 Pro 6Ks or the Enterprise. You use the Sky app for the lights and the nanos, but it does give you another skill set and something to compare DJI to. So you have pros and cons to everything, to every company, to every drone manufacturer. So regardless, that's why I got into it. And the support with DJI, when I first started, was actually really horrific. It was a nightmare to deal with DJI support. Every time I would call them, I'd cringe. It was literally so bad and not pleasant and just really painful. Didn't enjoy it. And finally, it seems like they listened over the years, and now they're actually pretty pleasant to deal with. It's really easy. You call them up, or you can go online, submit a little repair request, you punch in some info, they'll send you by an email a label, you go to the UPS store, you put your drone in a box or whatever needs to be sent in, have a little scan code, boom, gets the DJI, and it's a pretty seamless process. And if you have DJI Refresh, really that much easier. And I would suggest anyone to buy DJI Refresh, regardless of what insurance you have. Same as I would suggest anyone to buy Autel Care. Autel Care does not have more than 1 year, which kind of stinks. I'm hoping that they do offer 2 years. Like DJI, they offer the DJI Refresh Plus, which is an additional 1 year, or you can buy 2 years out of the gate. So there's a lot to talk about, but just wanting to let you know that Autel Support was pretty good when I thought DJI was really bad. So they were actually pleasant to deal with when I had any issues with my Evo 2 Pro 6K version 1. And then I ended up buying an Evo 2 Pro 6K version 2 Enterprise. I had issues with that. And 6 months later, it was really hard to get in touch with them. 2 weeks of calling, no one was answering. I was so frustrated, just like anyone else who was having issues when they were probably at their worst with people answering the phones and just lack of support completely. So I get it, I understand. I was one of the people really frustrated trying to get in touch with them. And I know Autel is aware of all of that stuff that happened, and they are working on getting that kind of remedied. I know they have more people answering the phones currently as of now, 2023, so it is easier to get in touch with someone. And just so you're aware, the best way to get in touch with Autel Support is to email support@autelrobotics.com and put in what you're having an issue with, what drone, your name, basic information, and then call. So get the process started with an email and get that kind of going, and then call. And you can call as many times as you want. I would probably call until you get in touch with someone, honestly. That's me. I'm kind of persistent because once I have something that I want to get remedied, I stick with it and I want it to be done, you know, expedited, ideally. But a couple things that happened with me, when I bought this Evo 2 Pro 6K Enterprise version 2, I got it off of Advexture. And Advexture actually bundled the thing without the smart controller because I asked them to. It wasn't to save money, that was part of it, but it wasn't really the case. I just didn't want to have the smart controller. The smart controller is really big, it's heavy, the sticks are far apart. It's not what I'm used to. I'm used to flying controllers where the sticks are this kind of thing, you know, 4 inches apart. And for me, for more cinematic flying, I didn't need a smart controller. What I was finding out was that with the Enterprise drone, the Enterprise series, it does not seem to want to work with the standard remote with the iPhone. It just wasn't playing nicely. I was getting a ton of disconnects. So long story short, after having a lot of issues, really causing me a lot of issues on jobs, I lost money, they ended up refunding my entire amount for the Enterprise drone roughly 6 months later. So Autel stood by me and took care of me, and that was really great. So can't knock them for that. They looked out for me. I'm nobody. I'm not getting paid by them. I'm just a normal guy going through the right channels, and I got to them and they took care of me, and that's all I can say. Same thing with this Lite Plus. I was having an issue with the latest firmware update recently where it was kind of flying really aggressively and like it was overtuned. It was stuttering in the air. And Ken Booth, who's a really great resource, so if you do see him in some of the groups on Facebook, you can reach out to him. He possibly can help assist, and if not, at least get you contacted with someone at support, I would imagine. So regardless, Ken Booth is a great resource. Don't hate me, Ken, for mentioning you. He's a good guy. He helped me out. But when I had him help me with the firmware update, I was still having issues. I was testing it. The thing crashed, hit the camera, and Autel was nice enough to replace it without using my Autel Care, and they stood by me. So they hooked me up basically twice and looked out for me, and I can't knock them for that. So regardless of being really easy to get in touch with them every single time, they've always taken care of me. They've never left me hanging, and that's all I can say. So if you are worried about Autel Support being non-existent, that's not the case. You can hear a lot of people say whatever they want, but I'm telling you right now, I've had multiple issues with multiple drones. Every single time they've taken care of me. My Nano Plus crashed on me. They replaced it with Autel Care. Every drone has been covered and in a pretty expedited manner. If you do have Autel Care, it should take 10 days to probably get a replacement, no more than 2 weeks, I would imagine. So I'd suggest anyone who's interested in buying a new drone, get Autel Care. They only have 1 year as opposed to DJI that has 2 years with the refresh program. You know, they are having a hard time. I mean, there's going to be, I know, lack of support, like the Evo 2 Pro 6K version 2. I think they're only going to support it for another 1.5 years, maybe 2 years based on the part shortage. I'm probably going to end up selling this, so anyone who may be interested, this is a Lite Plus premium bundle. I don't have everything here with me, but I have a hard case. The thing still has the stickers on it. It's brand new, 0 hours. I'm going to sell it for probably, geez, $1,000, $1,100, something like that. Let me know, I'll hook you up. But this is going to go, and I'm probably going to end up getting an Evo 2 Pro 6K version 2 because 1.5 years is all I need out of that drone before I probably get something else anyway. So yeah, it's really just letting people know that Autel is a really great drone company. There's no geofencing on the drones. It's a great flight experience to compare your DJI experience to. So regardless, that's a learning curve, and that's something to have in your drone flying knowledge base that will help you out because you have multiple manufacturers to fly. It's fun to fly a ton of different stuff, whether it's FPV. But to wrap this up, essentially, I want people to know that I wouldn't not buy an Autel drone because they don't offer support. They do offer support. It's happened multiple times for me in the last months, and I've never been let down. And that's my experience, and I'm sharing it with you guys. And that's it. So Autel Support We know they're working on it. They're well aware of their shortcomings, believe me. And I know they're working adamantly to make everything better and to get more people hired. More people are answering the phones now, as I said, which is a good thing, because when you can't get anyone on the phone, that personally drives me nuts. It's really, really frustrating. They had horrible hold music at one time, but they just went through a weird little time where they were having just really bad everything, it seemed. So for me, I think with this Lite series and the Nano series, they kind of came out with these, in my opinion, to compete with DJI, with the Mini 2s and the Air 2Ss and the Air 2s. I don't think they should have come out with the Nano and the Nano Plus and the Lite and the Lite Plus. They should have just come out with the Nano Plus, the Lite Plus, and been done with it. It would have made things a little simpler, a little easier. They probably wouldn't have had so many people coming back to them with issues, with so many drone models, but that's just stuff that I think got sloppy on Autel's side, and I'm hoping they learn from this and grow from this, because they are a great company and a great drone, and to me, they have one of the best sensors out there. You know, with the Mavic 3, for example, in my last video, the Mavic 3 is such a polished drone now that it's hard to compare that whole experience with anything either. But I still think Autel has the better image file for taking still pictures and probably does a better job with video in certain ways too. So pros and cons to each. I think some may see DJI looks a little bit more natural. Some may say Autel just looks better, lower noise, whatever, a little bit more colorful. That's the whole thing. Try for yourself. Buy an Autel drone, buy a DJI drone, compare and see. Pros and cons to each. One day you may want to fly this for certain things. One day you may want to fly a Mavic 3 for certain things, or a Mini 3 Pro, or whatever it may be. So that's it, guys. Subscribe. Hopefully you can help me get to the 4,000 subs. That will be kind of cool, maybe by the end of this month. Hit the notification bell if you like drone stuff, and that's it. Healthy, happy 2023. It's been pretty crappy since I landed in Chicago from Hawaii, which was beautiful in Hawaii. It hasn't been sunny for the last almost 2 weeks, so I'm losing my mind. I got a sunlight behind me that's helping a little bit, but I've barely even left my house. I haven't been flying my drones. I have my little kitten, Cosmos, who you saw, so I've been kind of babysitting cats and losing my mind. But anyway, I'm joking. Love you guys. Bye.